Let's pay tribute to one of the greatest athletes, one of the greatest basketballers that ever lived, taken way too early and tragically in the early hours of this morning in Australia. And of course, I refer to Kobe Bryant, who died alongside his 13-year-old daughter among 9, dead in a horrific chopper accident in California. NBA legend killed in chopper fireball. That's the front of the West Australian. We go to the front page of the Advertiser, and the headline there is tributes for Kobe, basketball legend Bryant, daughter killed in chopper crash. There's a lovely photo on the front of the Advertiser there with Kobe and his daughter Gianna. The Herald Sun, of course, you can see on the front page of the Herald Sun a beautiful tribute there. Look, guys, this is front of the Age, an action shot. The story really does transcend sport in many respects, Scott Emerson, because he was such a well-respected, well-loved figure in the United States. He actually accrued in one particular NBA game the record, 81 points. Extraordinary.
Oh, look, well, you had that 5 championship titles, the 2 gold medals, that massively high scoring. And when I heard this breaking earlier this morning, about 5:30 this morning, it was extraordinary how you just heard this outpouring of grief. It just showed how big a figure he was, not just in America, but around the world. You know, and really, he was the figure before LeBron, you know, in terms of basketball, and probably after Jordan. And that's where the role he is. But we were talking just before we came on air about there's probably not that many figures in America that would, if this had happened to them, that would get this kind of coverage, this impact, this outpouring of grief and concern.
If we go to the front of the Daily Telly, Damien, the headline there is World Mourns Legend and his daughter, Kobe Bryant, 1978 to 2020. America and the world of sport have been stunned by the death of one of basketball's greatest stars and his teenage daughter in a helicopter crash on the way to a junior tournament. Now, early preliminary investigations suggest that there was very poor weather when this crash occurred. A lot of fog around, a lot of rain. I mean, this was one of the top-of-the-range choppers that he owned. He loved his chopper. He spent a lot of time in his chopper, back and forth from his home in Orange County into Los Angeles. But just such a tragedy, isn't it, Damien?
Yeah, it is, and really that's what hits home is that his daughter was part of this tragic mishap. And it does sound as though preliminary investigations suggest that really the chopper shouldn't have been in the air and it was flying too low, veered off course. It's hard to tell at this early stage exactly what happened, but clearly something tragic has transpired. And, you know, for the sporting community and really, you know, it's just a recognisable name, Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, you know, those...
Tiger Woods, Tom Brady, I mean...
Yeah, they're the names that even if you're not really into basketball, you've heard that name, you probably know that face, and certainly, yeah, it's just interesting seeing the reaction around the world today, just because it's a really tragic accident. This is a guy who's 41. He should have been somebody that we would recognise and see on our basketball coverage and other sporting sort of legends going forward for another few decades. So really sad stuff.
Now, he was one of 9 people killed in this helicopter crash near Los Angeles. His teenage daughter also died in the tragedy.
This is the wreckage of the helicopter crash which claimed the life of one of the greatest sportsmen of all time and his 13-year-old daughter. Kobe Bryant, a 5-time champion of basketball's NBA, was aboard this helicopter with Gianna, one of his 4 daughters, when it burst into flames in the Los Angeles neighbourhood of Calabasas. There were 9 people on board, including the pilot. None survived.
Our hope goes out to all of the members that were on board, all the family of everyone who was on board this aircraft, and God bless their souls.
This is Bryant in his prime, on his way to being a 2-time NBA scoring champion, in a career which also yielded 2 Olympic gold medals. The 41-year-old retired in 2016. But his daughter's budding basketball career had become a life passion. They would regularly travel to games together aboard his helicopter.
What a play by Kobe.
He spoke of her proudly on an American talk show.
The best thing that happens is when we go out and fans will come up to me and she'll be standing next to me and they'll be like,
hey, you got to have a boy. You and V got to have a boy, man. You got somebody carry on the tradition, the legacy. She's like, oh, I got this.
Known as the first to turn up for practice and the last to leave, Bryant's work ethic was formidable. He truly transcended sport.
We love you, Kobe.
The Grammys, held at the Staples Center, which is also home to Bryant's LA Lakers, was understandably dominated by the death of a cultural icon.
Los Angeles, America, and the whole wide world lost a hero. And we're literally standing here heartbroken in the house that Kobe Bryant built.
When Bryant retired in 2016, his final game was the hottest ticket in town. Jack Nicholson, Jay-Z and David Beckham were all courtside. Bryant had met wife Vanessa when he was just 21. After retirement, he became a business and entertainment mogul, winning an Oscar in 2018 for his animated short film, Dear Basketball.
The news is just devastating to everybody who knew him, known him a long time. And, you know, he means a lot to me, obviously. You know, he was such a great opponent, you know. It's what you want in sports. He had that DNA that very few athletes can ever have.
The grief could be seen as the LA Lakers players, including Bryant's close friend LeBron James, landed at the airport to the news he'd died. Outside the LA Lakers stadium, crowds gathered to pay tribute.
A tragedy has befallen the world of basketball.
Bryant leaves behind 3 other daughters, one born just 7 months ago. They're joined by millions around the world in mourning the man known as Black Mamba. Martha Kellner, Sky News.
Val Kobe Bryant, one of the greats of basketball.